All right, guys, get this. Brazil, right? Land of sun, samba, and soccer, right? Yeah, we all know that. But what they don't tell you is, behind those gorgeous beaches and that infectious energy, there's a whole other side to Brazil. Like, a whole secret world of weird stuff, strange customs and traditions that'll make your jaw drop. Seriously, we're talking about stuff that'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the place. We're diving deep into the heart of Brazil, uncovering the hidden, the bizarre, and the downright unbelievable. This isn't your average travel vlog, guys. This is about to get real. So, if you're planning a trip to Brazil anytime soon, you better buckle up. And if you're just here for the ride, trust me, you won't be disappointed. We're talking 12 shocking taboos and traditions that are gonna blow your mind. Get ready to have your world rocked, Dobrik style. All right, so you think you know the law, right? You think you can handle a little trip to Brazil without getting caught up in some legal shenanigans? Think again, my friend, because Brazil's got laws, and I'm not talking about your average jaywalking ticket.
First up, we've got a real head-scratcher. In Brazil, it's actually illegal to wear a bikini or swim trunks on the street. Yeah, you heard that right. No strolling from the beach to the bar in your swimwear. You gotta cover up, or you might just get a visit from the fashion police.
And speaking of fashion, forget about rocking that killer all red outfit. You know, the one that makes you look like $1,000,000? Yeah, well, in Brazil, wearing all red is a big no-no. Apparently, it's considered disrespectful to the country's flag. Who knew, right? All right, guys, let's talk about Carnival. I know what you're thinking. Feathers, floats, and parties, right? And you're not wrong. But there's a whole other side to Carnival. A side that's steeped in tradition, and let's just say, things can get a little wild.
First up, we've got the tradition of blocos. These are basically massive street parties that pop up all over the place during Carnival. We're talking thousands of people dancing, singing, and just letting loose. It's a total blast, but be prepared to sweat a lot. And speaking of sweating, things can get pretty handsy during Carnival, like really handsy. It's all part of the fun, but just a heads up, personal space kind of goes out the window during Carnival.
Now, no Carnival celebration would be complete without the King Momo. This larger-than-life figure is basically the king of Carnival, and he's given the key to the city to rule over the festivities. Talk about a dream job, right?
But the real power lies with the queen of the carnival. This lucky lady is chosen from a group of finalists, and she's basically the queen of the party. Her job? To lead the parades, dance her heart out, and basically just embody the spirit of Carnival.
All right, guys, buckle up because we're about to dive into the world of Brazilian superstitions. And let me tell you, these aren't your average black cat crossing your path kind of things. We're talking some next-level beliefs.
For example, the color purple. You might think it's a cool color, right? Wrong. In Brazil, wearing purple is straight up associated with bad luck, even death. Can you imagine? No more rocking that purple Lakers jersey. That's like a cardinal sin in Brazil.
Seriously, they take this stuff seriously. It's like walking under a ladder while breaking a mirror and spilling salt all at the same time. You're just asking for trouble.
So yeah, if you're ever in Brazil and feeling superstitious, maybe just ditch the purple. Stick to something safer like yellow, which they believe brings good luck and prosperity. Unless you're going to a funeral, then definitely avoid yellow. It's all about reading the room, you know?
But don't worry, we'll unpack more of these wild superstitions later. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. All right, let's talk food, guys. Specifically, the do's and don'ts of eating in Brazil. And trust me, there are some rules.
First up, coffee. You know, the elixir of life. Well, in Brazil, coffee is serious business. Like, don't even think about putting milk in your coffee after a meal. Apparently, it's a major faux pas. They believe it messes with your digestion.
I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to risk offending anyone, especially when it comes to their coffee. Instead, stick to cafezinho, those little cups of strong, sweet coffee. They're like shots of energy and deliciousness all in one.
But here's the thing. Even with cafezinho, there's a right way and a wrong way to drink it. You never ever gulp it down like you're in a race. That's just plain rude. Instead, savor it slowly, enjoy the flavor, and let the caffeine work its magic.
All right, guys, get ready for this one because we're about to get into some next-level food adventures. You know how some cultures have weird delicacies? Well, Brazil is no exception.
Brace yourselves, chicken hearts. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, they're like a really popular snack there. They grill them up on skewers, and people go crazy for them.
Honestly, I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm all for trying new things, but chicken hearts? That might be pushing it even for me.
But hey, who knows? Maybe they taste amazing. Maybe it's one of those things you just have to try to understand. But for now, I think I'll stick to my usual snacks. Still, gotta give them props for their adventurous palates, right?
Up next, we're exploring some quirky festivals in Brazil that are way more interesting than your average street fair. All right, guys, forget everything you thought you knew about festivals because Brazil takes it to a whole new level. We're not talking about your average music festival here. We're talking about elaborate costumes, incredible dancing, and stories that'll blow your mind.
Take Boi Bumba, for example. It's this massive festival in the Amazon region, and it's basically a giant reenactment of this epic battle between good and evil. We're talking massive floats, colorful costumes, and music that'll make you want to dance all night long.
Seriously, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Imagine thousands of people coming together to celebrate this incredible story with music, dancing, and pure joy.
It's like Mardi Gras on steroids with a touch of cultural storytelling thrown in. Trust me, if you're ever in Brazil during Boi Bumba, you have to check it out. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
But Boi Bumba is just the tip of the iceberg. Brazil is full of these unique and amazing festivals.
Okay guys, you know how we were just talking about Boi Bumba? Well, get this, there's an even bigger, bolder version called the Parintins Folklore Festival. We're talking about a whole town divided into two teams, each representing a different bull in this epic battle between life and death.
It's like the Super Bowl of Brazilian folklore. They spend months building these insane floats, some of them as tall as buildings, and the costumes. Don't even get me started.
We're talking feathers, sequins, and enough glitter to make a drag queen jealous. And the music? It's a fusion of traditional Amazonian rhythms and modern beats that will have you dancing in the streets all night long.
But the best part? The energy. The whole town comes alive during this festival and you can feel the passion and excitement in the air. It's like stepping into another world, a world of myth, legend, and pure, unadulterated fun.
Trust me, if you're looking for an experience that's off the beaten path, this is it.
All right, guys, so we're talking about Brazil, and it's no secret that Brazilians are known for their beauty, right? But let me tell you, the pressure to keep up appearances is real, like seriously real. We're talking next level stuff here. And it's not just like, oh, I want to look good for Instagram. It's like ingrained in the culture.
From a young age, girls are bombarded with images of perfect bodies and flawless skin. It's kinda crazy. Think about it. Brazil is home to some of the biggest names in modeling, like Gisele Bündchen and Adriana Lima. These women are stunning, no doubt, but it sets a high bar, you know? It's like everyone's striving for this ideal, and it can be pretty intense. We're talking plastic surgery, extreme diets, the works, and the craziest part is, it's totally normalized there. Wild, right?
Now, I'm all for feeling confident and loving yourself, but some of the things these women go through are insane. We're talking like painful procedures and spending hours at the salon. I mean, I can barely get myself to go to the gym, let alone go under the knife, you know? But hey, different strokes for different folks, right?
But honestly, it makes you wonder about the pressure they must feel. Like, is it even possible to just chill and be comfortable in your own skin? It's a lot, man. So next time you see those picture-perfect Brazilian models, just remember that there's a whole lot going on behind the scenes. And hey, maybe we can all learn a thing or two about body positivity from each other, right?
All right, guys, you know, I love a good prank, but in Brazil, football, or soccer as we call it, is no joke. It's practically a religion, and trust me, they take their rituals seriously. We're not just talking about wearing your lucky jersey, people. We're talking full-on superstitions, chants, and celebrations that would put any tailgate party to shame.
Imagine this. The entire country shuts down for a match. Streets are empty, everyone's glued to their screens, and the energy is electric. It's like the Super Bowl times 1,000. And when Brazil scores, forget about it. It's a national holiday, complete with fireworks, dancing in the streets, and enough passion to power a small city.
Now let's talk superstitions. Brazilians don't mess around. We're talking lucky underwear, pre-game rituals, and even avoiding certain foods for good luck. I once heard about this one guy who refused to wash his lucky jersey for an entire season. Now that's dedication, but also, ew.
And the chants? Don't even get me started. They're loud, they're catchy, and they can be heard for miles around the stadium. It's like the entire country becomes a choir, united by their love of the beautiful game. But hey, whatever it takes to win, right? And let's be real, it seems to be working for them. Brazil has won the World Cup a record 5 times.
All right, guys, you know I love a good party. And in Brazil, weddings are the ultimate celebration. We're talking next-level fun, with traditions that'll make your jaw drop. First off, forget about your average DJ. Brazilian weddings have live bands, and not just any bands. We're talking samba bands, with enough energy to power a small city. Get ready to dance your face off.
And the food? Forget about it. We're talking mountains of delicious Brazilian BBQ, from juicy steaks to mouth-watering chicken hearts. Trust me, you won't go hungry at a Brazilian wedding. But here's where things get really interesting. The cake! It's not just a dessert, it's a tradition. Hidden inside the cake are little charms, each with a special meaning. Whoever finds the charm is said to have good luck in love.
Now let's talk about the groom. Before the wedding, his buddies will literally cut his tie into little pieces and auction them off to guests. The money raised is supposed to go towards the honeymoon, which is pretty smart, right?
And speaking of guests, get ready for some serious party favors. Brazilians don't mess around with those little bags of almonds. We're talking elaborate gifts like personalized Havaianas, flip-flops, miniature bottles of cachaca, Brazilian rum, and even tiny replicas of the wedding cake.
But the craziest tradition? The bride will write the names of all her single friends on the bottom of her wedding shoe. At the end of the night, whoever's name is still on the shoe is said to be the next to get married. So, if you're ever lucky enough to get invited to a Brazilian wedding, clear your schedule, pack your dancing shoes, and get ready for the party of a lifetime. All right, guys, so you think you know about funerals, right? Black clothes, sad music, the whole deal. But in Brazil, they do things a little differently. I'm talking next-level stuff.
First off, forget about somber. Brazilian funerals are all about celebrating the life of the person who passed away. They believe that death is just a transition, not the end. So, they party.
Yeah, you heard that right. Music, dancing, food, the works. They even have open casket viewings where everyone dresses in white, the color of mourning. It's like a going-away party, but way more intense. Can you imagine that? I mean, it's definitely a different way of looking at things. Okay, so after the party's over, it's time for the burial. But even then, things get interesting. In some parts of Brazil, they bury their loved ones in above-ground tombs. These aren't your average graves, though. They're basically like little houses for the deceased, complete with decorations and even furniture sometimes.
And get this, families will visit these tombs regularly, bringing flowers, food, and even cleaning them. It's like they're still taking care of their loved ones, even after they're gone. It's kind of beautiful in a way, don't you think? It shows how much they value family and honoring their ancestors.
All right, guys, so you're in Brazil, ready to experience the culture, but hold up, before you go around high-fiving and hugging everyone, there are some social rules you gotta know.
First up, greetings. Brazilians are all about that physical contact. Men usually greet each other with a handshake and a pat on the back. Women, kisses on the cheek, usually 2, 1 on each side.
But here's where it gets tricky. In some regions, it's 3 kisses, and don't even get me started on the air kisses. It's like a whole dance you gotta learn. Just play it cool, observe what others are doing, and you'll be good. All right, next up, dining etiquette. Brazilians love their food, and mealtime is a social event. But there are some rules here too. First off, never eat with your hands. Always use utensils, even for pizza. And don't switch hands either. Keep your fork in your left hand and your knife in your right.
Another thing, don't be afraid to try everything on the table. It's considered rude to refuse food, especially if your host made it themselves. And finally, don't be surprised if people show up late for dinner. It's kind of a thing in Brazil. Just relax, enjoy the company, and get ready for some amazing food.
Alright guys, buckle up because we're diving into the spiritual side of Brazil. It's way more interesting than your average Sunday service. We're talking about Candomblé and Umbanda, two religions that mix African traditions and Christianity. They believe in spirits that can influence your life, like having a direct line to the other side.
Imagine this. You're at a ceremony, the music's bumping, people are dancing in colorful outfits, talking to spirits for guidance. It's a whole different level of connection with the spiritual world. Millions of Brazilians practice these religions, so it's not some small underground thing. These religions are everywhere in Brazil, influencing culture, music, and food. They're all about respecting nature and honoring ancestors. They use herbs and plants for healing, like a natural pharmacy. It's amazing how these ancient beliefs are still alive in Brazil, showing its diversity. So next time you think of Brazil, don't just think beaches and soccer. Remember the spiritual side too.
Now, here's where things get really wild. We're talking about syncretism, blending different religions to create something new. Brazil is the king of syncretism, especially mixing African traditions with Catholicism. They started associating Catholic saints with African deities, like a religious mashup. It's a testament to the resilience and adaptability of Brazilian culture. They took elements from different religions and created something unique and beautiful. It's like a religious melting pot, adding another layer of intrigue to this fascinating country.
All right, guys, get ready for some real-life jungle myths. We're talking about the Curupira, a creature that lives in the Amazon rainforest and is basically Brazil's version of Bigfoot, but way creepier. Imagine a tiny dude with bright red hair, but here's the kicker. His feet are on backwards.
They say the Curupira protects the forest and its animals from anyone who tries to harm it. So, if you're thinking about doing some illegal logging, think again. This little guy will mess with your senses, make you get lost in the jungle, and you'll never find your way out.
But here's the thing, Brazilians don't just see the Curupira as a scary monster. They see him as a guardian, a protector of the environment. It's like a reminder that nature is powerful and deserves our respect. The Curupira is like a symbol of the Amazon's mystery and wonder. It reminds us that there's still so much we don't know about the natural world, and that we should tread lightly when it comes to the environment.
Speaking of the environment, Brazilians have a deep respect for nature. It's not just about mythical creatures, it's about understanding that we're all connected to the earth and we need to take care of it. They've got this whole philosophy called Jeitinho Brasileiro, which is all about finding creative solutions to problems, especially when it comes to living in harmony with nature.
For example, you'll find tons of eco-friendly practices in Brazil, like using natural remedies for illnesses or building houses with sustainable materials. They're all about reducing their impact on the environment and preserving its beauty for future generations. This respect for nature is deeply ingrained in Brazilian culture, and it's something they're incredibly proud of. It's not just about following rules, it's about a genuine love and appreciation for the natural world. They understand that protecting the environment is crucial, not just for Brazil, but for the entire planet. So the next time you're in Brazil, take a moment to appreciate the lush rainforests, the pristine beaches, and the diverse wildlife. Remember, we're all guests in nature's home, and it's our responsibility to treat it with respect. And that's a wrap on our crazy adventure through Brazil's wildest traditions. We've seen it all, from bizarre laws and carnival craziness to superstitions that'll make you question everything. We've explored the spiritual side, met some mythical creatures, and learned about their deep respect for nature. I hope you guys enjoyed this wild ride as much as I did. Brazil is one of those places that never ceases to amaze me, and I'm sure you're just as blown away by its unique culture. Don't forget to smash that like button if you learned something new today, and be sure to subscribe for more mind-blowing content. Most importantly, let me know in the comments which Brazilian tradition or taboo surprised you the most. Was it the backward-footed curupira, the religious mashups, or maybe those crazy beauty standards? I want to hear all your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious, my friends, and keep exploring the world's most fascinating cultures. Peace out.